We get to put in a shitload of blood points. And we're going to do our super secret Sadako build. And you're going to probably go, oh my god, Ben Sam, that makes so much sense. I wanted to do this all along. But you didn't. No one has, as far as I've seen. Okay. And we wanted chainsaw blades, razor blades. Preferably, I would like to use your Eries, but Eries are a gimmick. They aren't something you can rely on, unfortunately. Okay. And honestly, we might just play a couple games as her, and then I'll be done. We can't get that in time. It's cheap shit now. It's not done yet. You gotta wait. You gotta wait. You gotta wait. I have so many add-ons on her too. Cause we've literally dumped almost 9 million points in her. It's obnoxious. Okay. Get rid of our tier 3s, pick up the tier 1s so we can get the perks I need. Yeah. We'll have to wait and see. I hope I don't have to put another mill into her. That'd make me scream. Not in a good way either. Of course, got rid of my tier 3. So, getting rid of a tier 3 removes it from the pool so you can get more. The game will almost always give you... Just let me take a look here. Just to make sure I don't do the same fucking thing. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's wrong. Oh my god, what am I doing with my life? There we go. Fuck you. Okay. Know what we're doing. Uh-huh. Don't worry, guys. I'm smart. By the way, green Mori, super rare. Very rare. The rarest of all rare. Yeah, I was missing a teachable. I was also missing a teachable on Sadako for the longest fucking time. And I put a mill into Bird Lady, but I still didn't get it last time, and I had to pick it up just now. Funny. But I was still missing one of my perks, like, right up until the end, so even if I had the perk all along, it probably would not have meant that much. Let's see. Oh my god. I guess. You like my condoms. Cheap shit now. That's what we want. Bitch. Mine, I called dibs. It's keeping me from what I want. There's no ed, which is normally what I want. Not in this case, though. Get rid of our tier 3s, get them out. That's nice. Nope, it's just prestige. Prestige doesn't even really matter. It's not something I would ever look into. We're still getting rank 1 perks that I don't need. How is this a thing? Stop that game. Oh my god. We're already down to 500,000, guys. What is this shit? I literally am going to have every single fucking perk on there before I have the perks that I want. This is ridiculous. I'm not joking. I'm literally going to have every single perk on there right. There's like 3. Like, there's a lot of, like, I got a lot of level 1s, but I don't actually have... Oh, my god. I might have to put another mill into her. This is unbelievable. Hilarious, BHVR. Hilarious. I don't even have the yellow. We get it to close the tree here. Do it. There we go. That's good. Buy shrine perks for extra BP. Oh, you could do that, couldn't you? It's like nothing though, isn't it? I remember there being a way of converting BP. Oh my, it gives a lot. Oh my god. I love you. I forgot about this. I remember being told about this a long time ago, but I always needed iridescent shards for killers, and then I just forgot about this. This is actually incredibly helpful. Thank you. Yeah, that's beautiful, dude. Ha! Fuck you, BHVR. I have an extra 600,000 in my pocket. Uh-huh. And before I need that extra 600,000 and still don't get it. We do want chainsaw blades, so we're gonna come down here. Okay. Good call. I was told about that a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And then I forgot about it because I always needed iridescent shards to unlock things. And then I was talking about this other night. I was like, I have 80,000 iridescent shards. Isn't there a way I can just purchase BP or something? And for some strange reason, you can't just purchase BP. Like, you can't get a booster. Why can't you get a booster in a game like this? I don't know, guys. Okay. This is used for skins and purchasing killers. This is currency you earn very slowly through the game. This is earned through buying. This is bought currency called Orc Cells. And this is currency that's used for perks in the Blood Web, which is this shit here. You are very, very, very much limited by BP. You will be limited by iridescent shards, but this is the one that really, if you play killer, this is the one that really fucks you. If you play survivor, you probably won't care after you unlock a certain number of survivors and you get the perks you want, you aren't going to care about this at all. On Killer, there's a BP tax, which means the longer you play the game, like, the amount of time that you spend playing the killers, that just fucked me up. The price of playing a killer, there we go. The price of playing a killer is higher compared to the price of playing a survivor, because each killer is generally balanced around their add-ons. There's some killers that work without add-ons, but most of the killers need add-ons. There's some killers that are just missing parts of their power without add-ons. A good example being Doctor. Doctor has the ability to have 4 different, what are they called? Classifications or something. 4 different things he can do. And in order to pick them up, you need to have his perks. And you can technically get 2 of them with blues, or not with blues, with browns. But in order for you to get the other 2, you need to have a yellow or better add-on. Like, he's just missing parts of his power if you don't pick them up. Madness levels. Madness, something madness. Orders. No, that's one of them. They're like classifications or something. It's basically what he does is dependent on his add-ons, and you need them. He's very much dependent on that. And there's some killers, for instance, like Blight and Nurse, that still work fine without add-ons, but are just better with add-ons. But there's a lot of killers that just suck without add-ons. Nemesis, I would say, actually works without add-ons, but I like buffing his zombies, which we can't do because I haven't been able to purchase them recently. So... the razor blades. There we go. Yeah. So you end up very much BP constricted on Killer, which is funny because almost no one plays Killer. They have a lot of problems with Killers. Just run out of purples? No. There we go. Yeah, like, there's a lot of people that don't play Killer because it's very stressful. It is difficult to do, especially to do well, and there's survivors will oftentimes berate you for doing things that help you win, like tunneling and camping. Tunneling and camping is just another strategy to win, that's all it is, but survivors always take it personally. They always think you're holding it against them to tunnel and camp when you aren't. Like, it's not personal whenever I tunnel and camp someone. It is a way of getting rid of someone in the game. The best regression, so generator regression in the game, is getting rid of a survivor so they can't do gens or help their friends or do anything else in the match. Getting rid of a survivor is very, very, very important. Okay. Super secret. Very secret. So I actually have all my perks now, guys. And I will reveal to you the super secret Sadako. We didn't even need the 600,000, by the way. The super secret Sadako strategy. Oh my god. And you're going to go, oh my god, I know. Streamers have done this already. They haven't, as far as I know. And there's a reason for that. But it should look familiar to you. Oh my god, the drum roll. Okay. Yeah, I mean, part of that was my fault because I thought I had Pentimento when I didn't. So I've seen some people run part of this build, but they haven't run the whole thing. And the idea here is this is all I call the garbage collector build. And I came up with this originally for Legion, not in this exact form because Pentimento and Plaything didn't exist back then, but things were a little bit different where you could do things like run sloppy, for instance, that actually had meaningful impact in the game. There's a couple variations of this which I would like to try, but I haven't, I have to try things first. So the idea here is to keep survivors from, and actually kind of curiously, when I started talking about this, a week after I started talking about this, because Sadako's been out for like 4 weeks, right, at this point, basically a month, where I took a week off. I had someone actually come into my stream and mention Pentimento and Plaything, which, by the way, is not mine. Someone's done this in the past. This has been around for a while, which is the idea you get Pentimento or you get Playthings when you hook someone, and then they have to go and blow up a totem. When they go and blow up the totem, then you have a place to put down Pentimento. Pentimento itself is not very strong, and survivors will immediately go and cleanse it. The idea being here is if they go over to cleanse their plaything, we have Thrill the Hunt. And what Thrill the Hunt does increases the amount of time for them to cleanse our totems, which means they'll take even more of their time. So what we're trying to do is get them to expend as much time as humanly possible cleansing and just playing with totems rather than doing gens. There's a lot of different, like you have to, the way the game's been min-maxed at this point, you have to find different ways around them just doing gens. Gen regression doesn't work. And this is what I came up with. And it's magnified by Sadako because Sadako has a side, she has a side objective. She has things she does, forces you to do, which is you have to go and get videotapes and then move them across the map. So the idea here is we're going to teleport around to TVs in order to build condemn stacks. The idea is not to condemn anyone, by the way. Yeah, I mean, this is one of the problems. That's why I said this might suck, and this is why I said Sadako really sucks, is because she has no anti-loop or no catch-up mechanics. Maybe if they run to a TV you do, but yeah, you can expect at high MMR that's probably not going to happen. So what we're depending on here is basically just the chaos and people having to do random shit to consume their time, so I have more time in chases, in which I basically can ping-pong around. So the idea here, which you can easily see, is with Plaything and Pentimento, is to consume time after a hook and force them to go and cleanse stuff. Cleansing Plaything and then cleansing Pentimento, and then using Thrilling Tremors to increase the amount of time of cleansing those. Matched with me teleporting around the map and condemning survivors, so increasing their condemn will force them to eventually pick up videotapes and have to ferry them around while doing this. Eventually this will end, obviously, if you can max out the amount of Playthings, which is 4 per map. You max out the Playthings, you max out the Pentimento, and, Tremors, depends on how many, hexes we have up, which is going to be 2 by default. Undying, yeah, except with Peg, she's just one time. She can only do something once, and then you're done with her, right? So this might work on Pig, and then with Legion, the idea is when everyone's bleeding and mending, and you have add-ons that slow them down while they're bleeding and mending, especially with things like Thanophobia, which is something I might add into this build, while removing. These 3 are needed by default right here. The only perk we can change out is that left one. These are needed by default to increase the amount of time that it takes them to do everything. I have seen streamers run Plaything or Pentimento, and I have seen them run Plaything and Pentimento, because this is actually a build that makes sense, that a lot of people do. And occasionally you'll see them running Undying. The idea here is you lack intel on where to teleport, so you can't figure out where to actually go. So Undying, it's not about the fact that it preserves a totem, because I honestly don't care, because the totems are basically just about spending more times, which does help us because this adds more time on their garbage collection. This adds more time for them to collect random shit, so they'll have to pop a totem and then pop another totem. And once again, this might not even matter at high MMR if you don't catch people, right? It doesn't matter how much trash is on the map if people can do shit so fast it doesn't even matter, right? So this may not work. The basis of this build is these 3 talents, or these 3 perks right here. And then this character, you could potentially do this with Pig, and let's say Pig with traps on at the beginning of the map. However, I don't feel as though that would be, it wouldn't be as good. It might work, but I'm pretty sure it won't, because they'll just run around and, once the traps are off, that's done. They have to do it once per map, and then it's over. With Sadako, she has more repeatability in them having to do a side objective, which is her condemn ability, assuming you can find people to condemn, actually, put stacks on them. So this right here adds, oh, this isn't the right one. The condom is what we want. This right here adds a stack of condemn every time they heal. So not only will they heal each other while I'm running around the map, especially if they're picking people off of hooks and shit like that, which will add more stacks of condemn, which then they'll have to go and cleanse it. And then we'll be teleporting around the map faster. Obviously, I'd rather have this one, which turns more TVs on after you teleport around. Right here. Turns on TVs, four TVs after you teleport and hit someone, which is really nice, but it's eerie, and we can't depend on eerie's. I'd rather have this one than the Razor Blade, but this is what we have to work with. So, Undying here is specifically here for intel. So when they go and do these extra long totems, we will see that they're doing these extra long totems, and then we can teleport to them to adding stacks of condemn. And then when we get into chase with someone that was originally doing a totem, their friend's going to have to come over and do the totem instead. And that means someone's going to have to get off the gen, so they're going to have to go and do each other's tasks. And then on top of it, while we're going for downs, then we get another stack of Plaything. Or we get another Pentimento, which I'm going to build up as well, and then they have to go and cleanse the Pentimentos. only gives you already Undying totems, does it? Well, we might have to switch this for Retribution then. That was another one I looked at. They almost never cleanse on dull totems. Yeah, we might do Retribution instead then. They're dull. That's a good call. I didn't see the dull part. I thought it was all totems. That would actually make the perk pretty good, you know, outside of transferring for meme, ruin, undying builds. So Retribution is another one I was looking at for this build. There's 3 other perks I was looking at here. Another one's Thanophobia. The rarely used Retribution perk, which would probably make more sense here. Do I not have... Oh, no. Oh, no, you fuck. Oh, no. Oh, no. Is this on fucking Deathslinger? Jesus Christ. I think that's on Deathslinger. Yeah. Anyways, Retribution is another perk I consider using. Yep. Thrill the Hunt. Oh. 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 Did I miss an effect? I was looking at cleansing time. Is it not in the text? Yeah. Yeah, they removed that. Yeah, that was old Thrill. That was back when it had meaning. Now it's just cleanse time. Third seal. Yeah, that's old Thrill. Yeah, then they changed that because that was when boons were added. Because you wouldn't want a perk that counters boons. How is this game not survivor-sided? I don't know. I don't know who would ever claim this game is not survivor-sided and legitimately like look at the game and think it's not. So Thrill the Hunt used to allow you to see when people were cleansing your totem with a noise notification. Killer threat or whatever it was where it pops. And they took it out. Because why wouldn't they? But another option I was considering was Thanophobia, and I think we're going to do that instead. This doesn't really matter. I mean, it would add another totem, which is kind of nice. And it would protect Thrill the Hunt until we get some playthings going. Which might be a problem. Once again, totems do not last long at high MMR. Thanophobia, if you guys didn't know, increases cleanse time. For some strange reason, once again, this game is very survivor-sided. Made sure we had this as an option. For some strange reason, this does not increase the time to boon. I don't know why. I don't think anyone knows why. So, time to repair, sabotage, and cleanse totems. But it doesn't include booning totems. Yeah. Why? Why is this not been updated for booning? I don't know. You tell me why this perk was never upgraded for booning. I believe this was, though. No. Bell and Hex, which one was upgraded for booning? One of the perks is upgraded for booning. No, I gotta look at my cheat sheet. And by the way, if they leave plaything up, which they potentially could do, they just leave the playthings. Then they're all oblivious, which works very much in your favor as Sadako for getting around the map. Boon. I'm pretty sure Thrill does. Oh, it's called Blessing. Here's another one, though. Retribution. Survivors, so Retribution was upgraded, which I don't have because I didn't unlock Deathslinger, because these are perks in a build that I never thought I'd ever play. Because it's going to very much depend on me basically having ADD and running around the map doing random shit that doesn't really matter to most people, but might matter on a macro level. So we're looking at things from an overall perspective in which this will eventually weigh down the game, even though it's not going to work on a 1v1 or a personal level of tunneling out a survivor. It'll work at a level where they basically just fucks them from doing anything productive. So Hex Retribution is the one that was updated. Survivor's Cleansing or Blessing, any totem suffer from the Oblivious status effect for 45 seconds. After cleansing or blessing a hex totem, the auras are revealed of all survivors revealed to you for 15 seconds. So I don't have this one, but Retribution would be another one that would work along with this. Because there's a lot of totems that are going to get cleansed here, right? So we have, assumingly we get 4 hooks, there's going to be 4 playthings, and there's going to be Penameno, which will be 4 more totems, at least, if they don't cleanse another one. And then Thrill of the Hunt means it's going to take even longer for each one of these to be cleansed. Thanophobia is one that I was looking at, though, in addition to Retribution. It would have been nice if Thrill of the Hunt actually gave you noise notifications. That would have been something I'm looking for. Or if Undying gave you notifications when people are cleansing it, which it should. Cleansing or Blessing, which they don't. Yeah. That would actually fucking make it useful. Retribution is an after-the-fact thing, where after they cleanse a totem, then you can see all survivors for 15 seconds, which would also be arguably be very useful on her, because then you could see which survivors are near which TVs, and you could go into a chase with them. Well, that's the idea, is I need to mesh this with the totems, and Retribution would do that. I've thought of, like, that's the idea here, was this is for information, and it's not for Undying. I thought this worked on all totems, not just dull totems. The idea here is this is just going to reveal people that are going to touch my totems, but that doesn't work. So Retribution was another option I was considering for information, because you'll see them once they pop it. You'll see all survivors once they pop it. I guess I can show you guys this, because I can't show you in game right now. Do I just have it open? No, I was hiding this from you guys. Hush, hush. Yeah, so this is the other perk I was considering on Deathslinger, which I don't have. Survivor's Cleansing or Blessing any totem will suffer from Oblivious. That's kind of nice, but now I was looking for after cleansing or blessing a hex totem, the auras of all survivors are revealed for 15 seconds. So this is going to pop a lot during the match, assumingly if they cleanse the totems. I don't think it's going to work with Undying. That was, like, dull totems aren't going to be around long enough. We're in the internet. You don't want to go if you don't want to find accounts with all perks unlocked. What? Are you asking me how to cheat at the game? There's places to find that, but you basically lock yourself into a cheater account when you do that, and you're going to get fucked eventually. I think you might be able to buy an account, though. I don't know why this game doesn't have boosts in it. Once again, it makes me wonder if BHVR hates money, but, you know, whatever. There's a lot of people that buy boosts. There's a lot of games that have boosts in them for in-game currency. Yeah. There's an update for a DVD. I think they just turned off MMR. That's why it's glowing right now. I have to... So there's an update that is queued right now, which makes me think that I have to update my game to turn off the MMR. Anyways, this is the other option I was considering other than Undying, but I was like, hey, Undying gives me a free totem too. That who doesn't want that, right? But as it turns out, Undying's just kind of worthless. But we can try it. There's options here, and the idea is I have to figure out whether or not I'm going to actually win enough chases in order to get playthings in the first place, to get Penameno in the first place. Penameno's, it's not just... This is not just garbage. It's about weighing down the macro of the game, to weigh down the flow of the game and grind it to a halt. And as I mentioned, I originally planned on doing this with Legion, but Legion, like, people scatter too much and you can't get bleeds on everyone, so it doesn't fucking matter. I was originally planning on doing this with Legion, and that ground to a halt, and the way Sadako works and their ability to move around the map makes me think that this might be viable. This is probably one of the most viable killers you can do this on, is Sadako. The next closest is probably Pig? Maybe. maybe Pig. It's anyone that has an extra objective that you can't not do. Can't not do. It's something that you have to go and do an objective. And Sadako has it, the Pig has it, and that's pretty much it. Yeah. Yeah, I've never seen a single killer run this build. I've seen there's Cenobite too. I don't think Cenobite doesn't have an objective. Like it's one person. So in the case of Cenobite, only one person has to go to the cube, and that's it. With Sadako, she has an AOE that affects everyone, and then you can do it on more than once. Some killers have a certain amount of times you can do it per match, which is Pig, and then for instance, the cube only spawns so much on Cenobite. This might work on other killers, but Sadako is definitely the go-to for this, which is why I haven't really considered any other killers. I've played a decent amount of Pig last year. Before we played other killers, I played Pig for a bit, and she does work. You can obviously spawn people with the helmets already on, right, and increase the boxes or whatever. So force them to do shit while you take on chases, and then go after people that are missing their helmets, right, to make them take even more time. So it might work on her too, but this is definitely a Sadako thing, mainly because she can get around. Something you have to consider with Penameno is there's time to get around the map. And in order for you to relight totems, you have to go around to the totems, and TVs will help her do that. That's the whole idea of using the razor blades too, which reduces the time of turning on TVs. And a perk that I'd rather use is the one that turns the TVs on after hitting someone, but that's eerie, and it can't do that, sadly. So Retribution was another option here, which is this reveals survivors for 15 seconds. Oblivious is nice, don't care about it. That's a second effect of what I'm actually looking for. But this reveals all survivors, which is very nice, not just a survivor cleansing it for 15 seconds. So you should be able to get a teleport out of it and then get some condemned stacks out of it, especially if you get a nice AoE. This is going to be such an ADD build, guys. I'm not even going to lie. Like I'm literally it's going to look like I'm not even playing the game. I'm pretty sure. And it might actually just turn into me not playing the fucking game. But we'll find out. We'll find out. And by the way, I've seen other survivors do this, and this is twofold, by the way. This isn't just the build. You can't just do the build. The idea behind this is not just doing the build, but also interrupting survivors that are going to totems or around totems to force other people to go to those totems, to force their friends to help. The other one is that you teleport around the map, adding stacks to people. That's more important than getting chases and getting downs, is getting stacks on people. Not for the condemned, but to force them to get a VHS tape to once again travel around the map and do something dumb. This is a garbage collection. It's basically making them do as much as humanly possible without doing gens. That's the idea here, is make them do as much as humanly possible without doing gens. As I mentioned, I've seen other Sadakos play with Plaything. I've seen them play with Penameno. I've seen them play with Undying. Usually they'll run Rune along with it too, but Rune will just explode and then it's gone, which usually happens in pretty much every game. Rune's not an option. And then they run Undying with it. But the idea here is you have to run Thrill the Hunt to increase the amount of time, which it actually takes a decent amount of time to cleanse totems, to increase the amount of time to bless and cleanse totems, right here. So up to a maximum of 50% extra time to cleanse. Blessing takes 16 seconds. You add 50% more time to that, that's a 24 seconds to do anything. That's a long time. That's a long fucking time in terms of doing the game. That's almost half of a gen. That's about a third of a gen in time of you just fucking around with the totem. And then on top of it, it's Retribution. Yeah, so we get to see them after their blessing too. So we can just go over, we can teleport to their blessing, stop their blessing, and put a Penameno down on top of. The idea here is not doing gens. There's nothing here to do gens. This build is nothing to do with gens. The regression here is weighing down meta, so they don't have time to do anything productive. And as I mentioned before, they can just ignore playthings. I think the worst case solution for this is I'm not going to get hooks because you still have to finish chases, which means we aren't going to get any playthings. And the other option here is they can ignore playthings and just pound the gens. But eventually we're going to end up, someone's going to cleanse a totem and we're going to end up with one stack of Penameno and then they're going to still start out. I don't think that's nearly it's going to happen. I think the biggest problem with her is going to be the fact that I can't down people. Her stealth is a joke. Her stealth isn't like Wraith. I was watching True Player and he was playing with like Penameno and shit. And he basically played her like Wraith, which is hilarious. Like he didn't teleport at all, and he'd just basically walk around the map cloaking and uncloaking and shit. And then his thought her best aspect is her cloaking ability. Like he's just playing like a shit Wraith. The idea here is to expend as much time as humanly possible doing everything other than what they're supposed to. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think a high MMR squad could figure this out though, which I think would amount to ignoring playthings and then just pounding gens. Is I think was what's going to happen. They're going to tell everyone to not cleanse anything, and then just pound gens and ignore playthings. But I think once you get one Pentimento up, people will want it because that's 30% repair speed. I think they'll want to do it. But once again, when you get into the fucking cheater lobbies, we aren't going to be able to figure anything out, which is why I don't want to do this during MMR. We get cheater lobbies. This is going to be good for the weekend. We get cheater lobbies. It's going to be basically a shit show of they're just going to do gens anyways. It's not going to matter what kind of regression I have. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no anti-loop. Yeah, that's the thing, is I might never get a hook for plaything. There might be the case in which, like I mentioned before, it pretty much feels like every Mouse 1 killer needs to have coup de grace. It honestly feels like every Mouse 1 killer needs coup de grace. And we have no coup de grace here. Like on Shape, we need coup de grace. And Shape has a lot more value out of one attack than Sadako is going to have, so yeah. I don't get it. It's garbage collection. It's making people do everything other than what they're supposed to be doing because they have to. Well, they don't have to. That's the thing, is like plaything is just, they could possibly just ignore playthings. They don't necessarily have to, but they're going to want to. Plaything makes the person oblivious, and the only person that can cleanse it, it's right here. It makes them oblivious. Fuck off. And the only person that can cleanse it for the first minute and a half is the survivor with it. So it forces the person that gets unhooked to go and cleanse their own totem. But it only works, so it's one per person. And once you get all four, they're gone. Are you playing today? I played it already. I got in late. I'm not playing it now. No, this is tomorrow. I'm still sick, guys. I don't know if you can hear. I'm still fucking sick. And if I go too late, MMR is on, by the way. Actually, maybe we could play one game. I think it's going to be terrible. I haven't ever played Sadako, too. That's the funny thing. Is I just thought this up when trying to work with her because she sucks. Sadako as a base killer fucking sucks. She's terrible. Let's restart. Just to see how this goes. And she's going to be lower than my Nemesis, so. Yeah. Updated. Yeah, I think I'm going to need Retribution, though, instead of Undying. Thanophobia is another option, too. Thanophobia makes repairs take longer, and it also makes cleansing take longer, too. And there's going to be a lot of cleansing. Yeah, it makes sense, right? Have you guys probably watched streamers around that no one's done this. As far as I know, no one has fucking done this build. And the takeaway here is not Plaything Pentimento, it's Thrill of the Hunt. You need Thrill of the Hunt with this. You don't have Thrill of the Hunt, and then the totems take a lot less time, and you don't want that. You want totems to take as much time as humanly possible. I already did. It's garbage collection. It's making people gather or do shit other than doing gens. Right here. So this, when you hook someone, generates a totem. They have to go and cleanse that totem. This makes every totem cleanse and blessing take longer, depending on the number of totems you have on the field, up to 50%. So then they go and cleanse the totem. Then you put down a Pentimento where the totem was, and they have to go and cleanse the Pentimento. This originally I thought was going to give me the ability to see people when they're cleansing totems or blessing them, but it doesn't. I need Retribution instead. This might still work, but I think Thanophobia or Retribution will work better than this. I gotta go piss, guys. Yeah, there's options. Devour Hope was something I considered. I have other options here that I've opened. Devour Hope was one that I considered. Fearmonger is something I considered. Franklin's is also something I considered. The big ones I already gave you. The 3 on the right we definitely need. Devour Hope because it's still another totem that they have to do. Franklin's is not about getting rid of items. It's about making them do something. They have to go back and get an item. That means they have to spend time walking around the map and doing shit, but obviously depends on how much they value the item and whether or not they take an item in the first place. Devour Hope would not just only help with killing people, but it would also add to the fact that you can chase people better, because it adds percent to your speed, if you guys didn't know that. After 2 seconds, gain 5% haste for status effect for 10 seconds after hooking a survivor for a duration for 10 seconds. So this would allow me to teleport and then get into a chase with someone and possibly down them with extra haste. God. I'm getting like nosebleeds too because I'm sick and I'm like blowing my nose constantly. It's not about the expose or the kill, but rather because I get haste. So this is another option I've considered. Mindbreaker is another one I considered. So when they approach a gen, they can't just run away right away. After a teleport near a gen, they can't just run away. Ideally, if it meshes better with this build, it'll be even better. No matter what for add-ons, we need the one that adds condemned stacks, because this will make them more likely to have to go and do tapes, which is what we want. Yeah, Franklin's another one I considered because then they have to go and pick up their items, which costs them time. This is all about consuming as much time as humanly possible. I mean, yeah, sure. And Expose is also nice, but once again, this might work. There's options here. The idea is this is the base kit. This is a base kit with this killer, with condemns. And this is the optional perk here, where there's options you can swap out for. This is needed, once again, to increase the time. I mean, we could just play her. I have so much fucking stuff. Once again, we're doing degenerate hours here, and I don't know if I want to play her, because people are going to see it, and they're going to understand what I'm doing right away, especially when I only play one game. I think I'd rather have you guys know than play against like an Ultra Sweat at 3 in the morning and have them know what I'm doing. Even though I streamed it, and even though we sat here and talked about it, I think we're going to save this for tomorrow. Oh, by the way, I should add... I have to remember to do this. Shrine of... I have to do this every single time. I only have 450,000. No. Yeah, I probably should have just started buying perks too, just to have them. So then I can get BP for them too, even though I don't play Survivor. Yeah, I know. I know, but like at the time of day, if this was earlier in the evening, I'd totally do it. But the time of day, we're going to get like an Ultra Sweat lobby, and then they're going to notice my build. We don't want that. You made popcorn? No. You're a liar. You didn't make popcorn. That makes me feel guilty. You didn't just make popcorn. Actually watching Succession right now. Pretty good series, by the way. Relatively good series. Not pretty good. Relatively good series. Oh, this is going to take off. Like I said before, I've seen people use Plaything. I've seen them do Penamento. I've not seen them do this specific build. By the way, the best case scenario for this would be like a Midwich BTW. Midwich is going to be fucking chaos. Maybe we should put... Do I have a Midwich offering? I almost never use offerings for locations. What's Midwich look like? There's letter. Okay, we'll do one. I have no idea how to play her, by the way. This is basically the best case scenario for RPD might also be good. Next lobby. That in case Lid wants to hop on his Xbox and tell people we're playing against. Do one. I know you, Lid. You're just waiting to see those names. I'm not joking when I said our games actually got meaningfully easier after. You guys all have 3-letter names. We're gonna change our lobby. Our games got meaningfully easier after I started covering the lobbies. No survivors might even be harmed in the making of this game, by the way, so. In before this build's all over Twitch tomorrow. But as I mentioned before, I've never seen Survivor or Killer run specifically this build, so. We'll see. It's not just going to be the build. You have to play in a certain way to generate. Huh. Okay, let's restart my game now. When we get that, we usually start going against cheater lobbies, so. Cool. I got the NAT error. I feel just like right out of the gates that Thanophobia is just going to be better than Undying. I don't have room. There's no room. I honestly feel like Killer should have more perks, especially at high MMR. Considering they need a helping hand. No room. Maybe not that many, but 5 feels about right, or 6. Depending on your MMR. Lower MMR killers get much stronger. Higher MMR killers get much weaker. compared to survivors because they're all on comms. Most of them are on comms. They have a map offering we're going to alt F for. We don't want things to make sense. No. Okay. This is going to be a shit show, guys. So the way her power works, because there's a circle around her when she teleports to condemn, it's a cylinder. Because BHVR does not program spheres for some reason. And it's really stupid. A sphere would mean that it generally only works on the level that you're playing on. They don't do that. Instead, it's a cylinder. So that means we should be able to hit people below me as well as above me. That's the reason I'm playing on Midwich. We'll see. My totems might just instantly explode, by the way. That'd be funny, too. Feel fucking slow as shit. Hey, buddy. Surprise. He's gonna dead hard for me. Okay. So we already lost our Undying. What the fuck are these guys doing? Cool. Boil over bullshit. Might have to drop her. She might have flip-flop. Yeah, we gotta drop her. Okay. You can't hit people on the hook, can you? That's, okay. Good. She might have... Okay, we'll just leave her on the ground. One of them has DS. WQ. E. Monkey. I wasted a hit. Oh. Yeah. There he is. That should have hit. Apparently he had his tape guys at some point here. That should have hit too. Uh-huh. Yeah, he had a tape or something in his pocket, and somehow was able to magically just use up his charges. Adam's on comms. This is a 4-man, by the way. This is why I didn't want to do this. Should be someone going for rescue. They know which TVs I'm coming out of and leave before I get there. That's pretty interesting. FPS now. Looking at the wall, best we can. Didn't get a lot of those. Ah, weird. It's almost like they know where all of them are. That's kind of weird. And simultaneously doing them at the same time. Good for them. What are TVs, guys? Fucking upstairs. Oh my god. Cool. There's a guy in front of me just now. Adam is... Oh. No longer infected. I don't think we actually hooked at him, so this is another plaything. Like, I don't think they knew what was going on at first, and I think it's kind of working, but... This is basically best case scenario, because it's mid-witch. Should have tapped the gen upstairs. No, we're gonna leave her because she's a memer. Nope. Oh, now time to use your unbreakables. These guys, this is a fucking meme squad. This is also prom play this time. They say, like, they thought I'm a joke, so they're fucking around with me. And obviously that doesn't help me actually learn to play the game, right? Like, we don't have an accurate understanding of what's going on in this game because they're fucking memeing. Not completely. Not completely memeing, but they're definitely memeing. So I don't know if we do. Thrill the Hunt's gone, right? Even though it's showing 4 tokens, Thrill the Hunt's gone now. I think we have a plaything. One plaything. Yeah, Thrill the Hunt, they blew up Thrill the Hunt already. Retribution definitely would have helped more than Undyne. I don't think Undyne did jack shit. It blew up right away at the beginning of the game, so I guess it did something. Let's pick her up, because she has bow. This is, unfortunately, a dead spot. So now we bleed out Adam. Cool. They get already on the personal. Yeah, it's commenting on basically on how fast they blew it up. They blew up 2 at the same time as like a fuck you sort of thing. Yeah, so they blew up Thrilling Tremors already. Or Thrill the Hunt. Yeah, so we ended up with one plaything left over. Now we get to watch you bleed out. Because you're nowhere near Hook, and you know it. Is there a hook right above me? I don't think there is. Like, I looked. There might be a hook here. We're gonna wait. We're gonna close the hatch anyways, so. Oh my god, Sanjo! Thank you for the 25 months, my dude. I appreciate it.
When in doubt, throw more men at it.
This is definitely a high MMR squad. 2 of those guys are fucking around. Doesn't matter if he gets off my shoulder. Because we close hatch. I don't think we're gonna make this, but maybe we'll find out. Just barely. Lovely. Cool. Good, good, good. Adam and Quentin. Adam was dead earlier on in the match. So once again, one of the problems with doing this is the fact that they're going to spend more time. If we don't spend more time doing this, they're going to do it. And then the cat's out of the bag, so to speak. Cool. I think it kind of works. So this is Midwich once again. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to work on, like, if you get a really big map, I don't think it'll work at all. But that also makes it more difficult for people to see where they are, so maybe 230. We could do another one, but yeah, 2 of those guys are fucking memeing. Like, they're definitely super sweats with their memeing, because Sadako, right? I think we'll do one more. And they definitely have sweat builds, guys. We have DS, BT, BT, DS, DH, BT. Secondary meta, we have Bow. Adrenaline, Boons. I don't think I'm going to do another one. I think if we do another one, it's going to spread even more. And we need to spend a whole stream playing, well, maybe even multiple streams playing this. I do think I need Retribution instead. Am I liking the killer? I don't know. We'll see. I think one of her biggest, like, so I think bigger maps have more TVs on it. I'm not sure on that. That might have been maximum density for TVs, though, and even then, we only condemned one person, and I think that's because he was healing people. Poor Sanjo, he subbed for nothing. Did I forget to turn it on? I edited it, but I didn't turn it on. There you go. Double pip. So this, in my opinion, point totals here has no double pipping. This has no meaning whatsoever in how well you do in the game. We 4K'd. This game took a lot longer than normal. Two of those guys are fucking around. And then when we tunneled, I don't think they expected me to. So I would say two of those guys are fucking around, but I'd also say that they weren't expecting me to actually try and kill them, which is what we did. Like, that one guy expected me to chase the other guy when, in fact, I just tunneled him out of the fucking game. Yeah. I'm fantastic. That's why you should sub to me. But I do think this might... I think there's possibility here, guys. And Sadako represents the best example of just do shit out of any killer. Of just doing, you have to do an objective besides gens. It's probably Sadako. And once again, I think we can trade out Undying with Retribution is probably going to be the next one. I don't think Undying works. Retribution is going to be the next one. They blew up my Thrill of the Hunt pretty quick when it started actually mattering. And I'm pretty sure they picked out Thrill of the Hunt too. They didn't just blow it up. Once it blows up, it's gone, isn't it? Yeah, it's just gone. I wonder if your extra BP is gone too at the end of the game. Do you lose your BP too? I don't know. It says hex effects persist as long as the relayed text tone is standing. That was gone relatively early. I'd say that was gone maybe halfway into the game. And they're fucking around with me. But then they actually started trying, and then I think they just gave up at that point. That was definitely a sweaty squad, though. Two of those guys were definitely sweating while those other two were fucking around with me or trying to fuck around with me. Pretty sure it was a 4-man. What you really want is the repair speed. So the one that you actually really want is the first one you get. So that's actually pretty good. Thanophobia, I don't think is not healing speed. Sloppy Butcher's healing speed. That doesn't matter, though, with totems. But Thanophobia affects gen speed, and there were definitely a decent amount of people hurt throughout that match. Totem cleansing matters. Yeah, I think Thanophobia is going to be better than Undying. Thrill of the Hunt really matters, though, because this increases time, and all this build is entirely about taking up as much time as humanly possible from survivors. There is one that adds Condemn based on how long they're holding a tape for, but they don't hold tapes that long, so it doesn't matter, and you can't down them usually in time anyways. That Adam, even though we got in a chase with him when he was condemned, didn't even get a chance to down him, and then the survivors are body blocking for him too. That's definitely a super sweat lobby. The survivors are body blocking the Adam for the Adam. when he was condemned. And he's the only one that got condemned. I don't expect condemned to actually do work in this. It would be nice. There's a bunch of moving parts here, guys. It's about trying to make all the moving parts work in our favor. Everyone likes talking about a bunch of moving parts. Developers love talking about a bunch of moving parts. We have a lot of things going on here, and this is the garbage collection build. It's all about spending as much time as humanly possible doing the most, not even mundane, just doing stuff you have to do. Devour might be an option. Mainly because of the haste, which we need for chases. Then it would expose them. And it would force... It would definitely put more aggro onto totems, so they have to do them, and Thrill the Hunt would get more value, and then just doing random shit would get more value. And ideally, the survivors shouldn't know which totems are which, unless they're on comms telling each other which totems are which. So you get even more value just about as a spam of totems from Plaything and Penameno, which is what we want. And then they get even more value from Plaything. Devour is an option too, in case we teleport to gens. There's only a couple occasions when I was teleporting around in which the survivors were near gens that I was working on. Or near a TV that I popped out of working a gen. So Devour, or Fearmonger, I don't think would be necessarily super amazing. But Thanophobia is an option here. Devour is an option here. Undying still might be an option here. I need to get better used to the character. But yeah, I think they're partially trolling in the match, but then they also weren't. I think they tried to actually start playing legitimately, and it's too late. Two of them were definitely trying to win. Two of them were trolling, but then they were actually trying to win later on, and then we just basically fucked them, so. It didn't matter, it's too late. Look at how many perks we got to fucking rank 3, guys, before I got Sadako done. This is incredible. Look at all those rank 3 perks before I got my build. Partially my fault, but even Undying we didn't get until like 1.5 million ago. Is when I got Undying. There's options here, guys. I would like to replace this. So this right here, when I teleport around, will make the TVs turn on. It takes 60 seconds to turn on TVs. This makes them turn on in 48 seconds instead of 60 seconds. While it might not seem a lot, when you have a bunch of different TVs around the map, that's actually a lot of time. It's 20% faster TV turn on, and obviously bopping around when you see me dash around the map, that's specifically to build condemned stacks around anyone that goes around the map, which then forces them to do VHS tapes or avoid me, which is also important because then they can't go do totems and shit. So it's like making people just do a bunch of just random garbage. This would also help. Getting a survivor within 8 seconds of manifest, he turns on 4 TVs, which would be great, but eerie. That being said, I have a shitload of them. And we need the condom. The condom adds condemn stacks based on heals. That is very important for building condemn. It does feel like there should just be, you should get condemn in different ways throughout the game match, and you don't. Condemn stacks are her ability. You can eventually Mori someone if you down them. She has a built-in Mori. When they're within 16 meters of a TV I teleport to, they gain a stack. Then when they get to 7 stacks, they become not exposed, they become Moriable, which is that red flashing ring on the left side. So if they become Moriable, then I can just kill them outright, which is what they don't want. So it forces them to do VHS tapes. And VHS tapes means they have to go to a TV and then they get another TV. I don't know if it's always across the map, but they have to go to another TV and then insert the tape. And unfortunately, the passive, they build condemn just by holding the tape. It sounds like the mechanic itself is pretty sound, except it's not reliable, and survivors can easily negate it. It honestly felt like she shouldn't even have hooks, and they should have came up with other ways. We talked about this before, so they should come up with other ways of her getting like the on-hook perks, on-use perks, like shaking survivors or something when she downs them. The condemn stat should have just been built into her character better, and it wasn't. Like, it feels like survivors should passively gain condemn throughout the match, and they don't. They only gain condemn passively when they're holding a VHS tape going to another TV. And the only time they'll generally do that is when they're going to reduce their stacks. So, pretty shit mechanic. It should just affect them all the time. I'm sure BHVR didn't want, so it's like a burn down. I'm sure BHVR didn't want that though, because they didn't want to force survivors. Like, she can be really powerful at low MMR, like with Cenobite, where people just don't know what the fuck they're doing. She could be very powerful at lower MMR when she's not at higher MMR. Because they made her condemned status too weak, condemnability too weak. And then she has a manifest, demanifest, which basically makes you go invisible, like Wraith. And that's pretty much it. I could say I'm love anyone if he loves himself. I always love myself. I love myself every night, Sanjo. Deeply, deeply in love with myself. Am I running more games? No. I did an extra game because people wanted me to after I built this. Because it's my super secret shitty Sadako build. The garbage collection build is what I call it. Forces them to go pick up the trash. And that's very important because it makes them do other things other than generators. Immediately getting up the first totem for the gen regression speed is actually very important too. I should have tapped more gens too when I was teleporting around if no one's around. Random taps and gens for random regression. I really wish I had 5 perks. I honestly think that Killer needs 5 perks at high MMR. Like Oppression would be really good. Brine would be really good. We can't fit it in this build though. There's other things I need in this build. Brine would be really good. You know, obviously if we could have Ruin, but Ruin sucks because it'll blow it up. You saw how fast Undying. Undying went in the first 15 seconds of the match, I think. First 20 seconds of the match, Undying blew up. And then it was Thrill to Hunt that was left. And that lasted for about half the match, or maybe a third of the match. Okay. But I'm out here for this evening, guys. I'm still under the weather. I have a fever right now. It feels like my head's really hot right now, so I'm out of here for this evening, guys. Tomorrow will be more Dead by Daylight. We're going to be playing this more. I wanted to finish this off. I've been working on this build for a month. A fucking month. Look at all my fucking purple perks I have. I didn't want these purple perks. I just lucked out and had to get purple perks. So, yeah. Undying actually took me forever to pick up. And that being said, we don't even have Retribution because I haven't unlocked Deathslinger. Because I thought I would never actually need Retribution. Deadman Switch is actually useful. But now I do. Yeah. So. What rank are they? Doesn't tell you when you unlock them here. It only does if you have the character unlocked. Cool. I think this means this is my last perk at level 40. So it's going to be at least 1,000,000 points into him before I can get Retribution. I think this is going to be useful just like Thanophobia. Thanophobia is another one I think could mesh with her very well, which increases cleanse time, but it also increases repair time, so it's win-win. Win-win-win. The important one there is Thrill to Hunt, though. That increases the time of totems, and that's what we really want. From what it looked like in the game, because I don't think we had 4 totems up at any given point. Maybe we did. But we had 4 tokens at the end of the match. No, maybe it is. Maybe it is just the pure amount of totems you have at any one time. I thought this would increase and decrease, but it actually looked like it just went up to 4 and stopped. Which is probably when my Thrill to Hunt totem exploded. So 40% additional... 40% additional cleanse time is very nice. That's very nice. On the possibility of 8 or more totems... Very nice. Clap for that, guys. Fucking clap. Clap. Why aren't you clapping, guys? Is that an emote? Yeah, thank you. Thank you, chat. Thank you. Thank you. Bravo. As I mentioned before, I've not seen a single killer do this build, and it's not just doing this build. I've seen Penamental Plaything on them, obviously. I've seen them running Undying occasionally, usually with Ruin. The build is around Thrill to Hunt. It needs to have all 3 of these perks here. And then on top of it, it's not just about having this build, it's about teleporting around and building condemned stacks on top of it. So there's a lot going on here, guys. It's not just one thing. There's multiple things happening in the match. We're going to obviously have to run this through the strainer and improve upon it, but I think there is merit here. We'll have to wait and see. It could also be, once again, that survivors don't know how to deal with it, and that's going to be a learning experience too. And then once they figure it out, maybe then it's just going to fucking break. My guess is they're just not going to do playthings. My guess is the end result here is they won't do playthings. But if we have Devour, it forces them, well, I mean, just like with Haunted Ground, I ran Haunted Ground for a week during degenerate hours, and it never blew up once, except for when they wanted it to blow up so that it'd take pressure off a hook camp that I had going on. So, yeah. They can definitely pick and choose which totems, and they're nowheres. They seem to always know which totems to blow up and which ones not to. It's like it tells them. It's like it's right above it in text which totem it is. Or they have a map that they open up that shows you the location of the totem. Weird. Weird stuff, guys. But the whole idea here is it makes them take as much time as humanly possible doing other things other than generators. Or healing. Or everything. It's weighing down the macro of the game. To the point at which it grinds to a halt. I think it worked pretty well. Midwich is the best case scenario for it, so